Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Alex and this is TechFlow. The reason I say it like that is because you've never seen anything like this before. I'm here today with Jed. You won't have seen anything like this before on TechFlow, and that's because this is a brand new thing that we want to do more often. Discussions on the channel, Jed and I sat here talking about tech, and we want you guys to get involved as well. So if you guys want to get involved and you like it, the like button and the comment section is the place to do all of that. We want to talk about the iPhone X today, and we thought we'd do is each think of 3 talking points surrounding the phone, and then talk about them for a minute or so. So I wanted to talk about the actual new design,
Okay.
Face ID,
Yeah, of course.
and the wireless charging,
Yeah, that's a big thing for the iPhone.
and how Apple are just late to everything.
Literally, they've taken every Android phone, smashed it all together, and they're super late with everything. But from what I've seen,
It's probably going to be a
mad.
masterpiece.
Yeah. I want to talk about the new camera, the optical image stabilization, the new, obviously the improvements on the depth effect, and that new studio lighting thing that they've introduced.
Now that is really, really, really cool.
I want to talk about the fact there's no home button or Touch ID, because I feel like that's going to be something crazy that people are just going to really miss. I've recently obviously been using this iPhone 6, which is, God knows, 3 years old now, and I love the fact that, because I've never had a phone that's had
But
Touch
that's the
ID
thing,
before.
that's 3 years old. This came out last year, but even in the last 10 years, Apple have always had the home button.
They've always had. This is the first time Apple have ever changed the front of just the general look of the phone. Because even the iPhone 4 looked very similar to this.
But
really,
they've all had a
didn't it?
button at the bottom.
They've all had always on every Apple device, bar obviously the old iPod Classics and all that kind of stuff. Have always had, ever since the day one iPod Touch, have always had a home button, and I feel like it's just going to be something that everyone's just going to hate or just going to miss.
Right then, so let's kick all of this off with Face ID. Face ID. What's your thoughts on Face ID?
I had the Samsung Galaxy S8 for a while, and obviously that is probably the only phone that I can compare in terms of Android that has something similar to Face ID, and that has iris scanners, right?
Yeah,
So you hold
yeah.
your phone up, you look at your phone,
Yeah.
and it has an iris scanner in it which scans your eyes, and that was it was a flop. I had to shoot an advert for it, and I was sat there with the actor for a good sort of maybe an hour just trying to get it to recognise his face, and it just wouldn't work.
So it's just not
No,
reliable
it was
at
not
all.
reliable at all. It's something it's one of those, it was a novelty feature. It was novelty, and that's all it was, and that's all it will ever be. Whereas this thing with the Face ID, from what I've seen on the keynote, and even though there was a bit of a mess up on the keynote, I heard.
Obviously, I'm really sceptical because I've used the S8 as well, and it wasn't the best for Face ID or facial recognition, whatever you want to call it. But if Apple are going to take the vast move to remove Touch ID,
other than physically old school typing in a code, that is the only way of unlocking your phone.
Exactly. And if they're going to remove Touch ID, which is just phenomenal, it's phenomenal.
It is one of the best things that people have introduced to phones. Just the fact that even this phone, which is 3 years old, can unlock my phone
With fingerprint.
in literally 2 seconds with a fingerprint. And that's 3 years old. Yours does it like that.
Yeah, like that, and it's that good.
Yeah.
And if they're going to replace that with Face ID, that's what I think. It's obviously going to be good, but I'm still
It's one of those
skeptical.
things where you're gonna have to literally see it to believe it.
Yes,
Good.
I'm hoping it's going to be good. But then that leads us on to the second point: no home button, which is what you wanted to talk about. What do you think?
Just a bad idea, isn't it? Personally, because I like it. I love the look of the home button, and it's like when I look at an iPhone, any iPhone from the iPhone 3 or whatever, the first iPhone, the very first.
They've all had them.
That came out, a smartphone that came out. The very first, it was his first smartphone, right?
Mm.
The very first smartphone that ever came out, always been the main feature of the iPhone. It's always has.
It's been the iconic thing.
Literally, the iconic thing is just putting that thumb on your home button to go to your home, and that's just always been the main thing. And now they've just kind of gone, no, that's it, we're done.
I mean, I'm happy because you've got to move forward and you've got to say bye to the past and move on from things, and I totally understand that.
Yeah.
But I think the way they've gone around it hasn't been the best. Hear me out here. Swiping up to get to home. Why not have? They've implemented force touch, and it works and it's brilliant. Why not have it so that you can force touch at the bottom?
Literally, the Samsung Galaxy S8, because it is, in terms of design, comparable to the iPhone
Yeah.
X. But that has a home button. You can't even see it at all. It looks seamless completely from top to bottom. No home buttons, no buttons or anything. And you can press where you know the home button is going to be in the screen, and it pops up. And I feel like they could have just implemented that with the iPhone, because no one wants to go like that to get to the home screen.
So you've got to go like that. Yeah.
It's one click of a button, or it's one.
And now you've got to start swiping, and then if you want to get to notification center, it's a swipe down from the top right, and then if you want your notifications, it's the top left.
Yeah.
And it's just like capacitive touch for the home button, swipe up as you normally would from the bottom for control center, and swipe up down from the top to get your notifications like it's always been.
The main thing I was more concerned about is the fact that, when you go to use Apple Pay, you click it and you use Touch ID
to authenticate it.
How are you going to do that with Face ID? Because you're not going to have to say with your phone, when the credit card thing is like that, are you not going to have to go like that?
Well, that's the thing. I have it turned off, but now what you're going to have to do, I have it turned off so that usually if you double click the home button, it will bring up the Apple Pay terminal, but I don't have that turned on. I just have it so you have to put it over the terminal. But I think that's not going to be a thing anymore. I think you're going to have to double click it, look at it, and then scan.
Because that's just going to be
just another thing. Design, I like it. I like the design.
It looks amazing. It looks so cool.
Black or white?
Actually, you know what? For the first time, I think I'm going to say white. I normally hate the white iPhones. Like I think like the 6 and 7 look great in black, with black screen and the sort of dark back, but I really like the white. I think it's because of the bezel. There's no bezel.
The fact that it always has the black front.
Yeah.
All it does is change the back, which is lovely.
Because that's what I hated about these ones. When you've got the white glass on the front,
you see all the dots.
Screen, and it makes the screen just like there it is.
Not as immersive.
Yeah, it's not as seamless. Whereas the new one with the white, it looks really nice.
And obviously you've got the amazing screen that goes all the way to the edge. It's a very nice designed phone.
I mean, the one thing I did notice as soon as I saw it, the first thing I saw, and when I just literally saw the front of the phone, because Apple and Samsung have always been those two companies that have always kind of just copied each other a little.
Of course, yeah.
Not in terms of design normally, but I feel like the iPhone X has kind of mimicked the S8 a little bit. But I think that might just be because that is the only other phone that is pretty much bezel-less.
Yes,
really,
yeah, it is, yeah. But that's just the way it's going.
Yeah.
That's just like one company creating an SSD, for example, and then another company creates SSD, and it's like, no, because that's the way the world is going to SSDs.
Because I didn't like the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge, because it was so rounded that when I held it normally, like a normal phone, my fingers touching the screen, it was like making
false swipes, yeah.
But then the S8 was really nice because they kind of got the bezel just right. It wasn't too folded over, but it wasn't not folded over. Do you know what I mean? It didn't fall off the edge.
No.
The iPhone, I think they might have got it right.
I think they'll have nailed it. Design out of 10, I'm going like 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. It
9.5.
does basically from the back. Bar the glass.
Do you not like the glass back?
I trashed my iPhone 4. One drop. I know it says it's really durable glass, but at the end of the day, glass is glass. You're gonna drop it and it's gonna smash.
It's glass.
It's glass. I think that was a bad move. Mainly because I love the metal. Metal looks so good on a phone. It feels good as well. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like it's either gonna make it feel really premium or it's gonna make it feel a little more tacky. It's $1,000 for a start.
Yeah, well, it's the whole thing about the phone is you're gonna have to wait and see. Okay, so wireless charging and generally nabbing features from Android, which is what any Android person would say. My argument is that Apple wait to get the technology right and then implement it, but that's not the same with wireless charging, because wireless charging is wireless charging. You can't get it right. It works. It's just wireless charging.
I think they were just a bit
They were just late to the party.
It's not even that. It's just like it really irritated me because this phone, even the 6, again 3 years old, has the technology in it to have wireless charging, but they've just only implemented it for Apple related things.
Oh, you mean NFC?
Yeah, you can use Apple Pay, which is NFC, which realistically could give you wireless charging, but they've decided to just use it for an Apple-based program.
So you can't do any NFC anywhere else other than Apple Pay?
Other than Apple Pay, you can't do anything, which I think is just kind of like a bit of a... just Apple all over, isn't it? It's like, you can use it. Like, when I used Siri earlier to see when this phone came out, it took me straight to the Apple website.
Marketing. Still marketing. Camera. I like cameras.
I love cameras. But the 7... So the 7 Plus introduced the dual camera thing. 2 cameras on a phone, like crazy. Some cameras have done it in the past, not very well. Now Android phones are mimicking the same thing. We've got the G5, is it, and the G6 by LG that have got dual cameras.
OnePlus 5.
OnePlus 5. There's tons of other phones that have got dual cameras on them now. The new Nokia, I think, has also got it. And I think realistically, Apple are the only ones that have actually ever got it right in terms of the depth effect is like unbeatable. The OnePlus 5, the bokeh looks a little bit weird. It's sort of a bit artificial. Whereas you've taken some photos of me using the portrait mode and it just looks phenomenal.
It looks like an SLR.
It does.
It genuinely
it is
does.
Scary how good it is, and it's just going to get to the point where it's going to be implemented in video, and then people like us are going to get cut out of the game a little bit because you can literally do it all on your phone now, which is a shame, but it's also just literally mind-blowing because it's just so good now. And I can only presume that it's going to get completely like upgraded in the iPhone X because you got this new thing with the whole sort of like, smart lighting, what's it called, studio lighting and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, well that's the thing, yeah.
Delete the background and have a black background and make it look like you're in the studio, which
it's the AR, the augmented reality. But you think about it, Apple haven't changed their phones from 12 megapixel shooters on the back for so long. They've been 12 megapixels, so they're not really changing the hardware. What they're doing is slightly altering the hardware to then create better software with the slight hardware alteration.
Yeah.
So like the depth effects getting better and all of the little special effects that they do now with obviously, as you said, deleting the background and literally like we have studio lighting in this room to make us look the way we do, to make this look really sharp and to make us look really good. Yeah. And imagine just being able to do that without this whole setup. It looks mad, I can see it all right now, just on your phone. On a phone. And that is what Apple are going for. They're trying to simplify everything. But they don't want to make it look gimmicky.
No.
It's going to look good because it's Apple.
That's the thing. It's one of those things where Android phones have done it and it's just been a novelty.
Well then guys, let us know what you think about the iPhone X or iPhone 8 if you'd like to, down there in the comment section down below. Are they stealing anything from Android phones? Or should Android phones learn a few things for the up-and-coming Samsung phones or new phones to come in the future? Do you guys think it's going to be a good phone? Do you think Face ID is going to work? Do you think people are going to break the glass on the back?
Probably.
Let us know down there in the comment section down below, guys. But for now, mine has been Alex. This has been
Jed.
We'll see you in the next TechFlow video. Adios.
Get money.